My name is Karen and I'm a Vision Impairment Specialist teacher working with Essex County Council. I work with preschool children, primary school, secondary school and children in special schools. I'm obsessed with Braille and passionate about it in all my schools. This video has been put together to share information about Braille in Essex schools. I even took my 16-year-old daughter to Coupvray to see where Louis Braille's hands are buried and the workshop where he had his accident. This image shows the grave in Coupvray in France where Louis Braille's hands are buried. The rest of his body was taken to Paris on the centenary of his death. So why teach Braille to very special children? I used to be a shared carer and had opportunities for ASD training through this. I remember seeing a video of a young person once who was non-verbal but managed to write "I have toothache" on a computer. She had obviously learnt to read and write by taking in all that she was exposed to. Blind and visually impaired children also have a right to literacy, but they can't be exposed to reading like sighted children. There may be specialist equipment like a Perkins Brailler in a school, but no one skilled in how to use it. So we're going to talk through the letters of the word special, just to talk about different children and different case studies. I'm taking 3 particular case studies from 3 of the special schools that I visit. 2 of them are for children who have profound and multiple learning difficulties or severe learning difficulties, and 1 is from a school which caters for children with a moderate learning disability. The first little one, we'll just call him G. He's got a condition called retinopathy of prematurity, which means he was very premature and his eyesight has been damaged because of oxygen in his brain. He originally went to a nursery out of county with enhanced provision and then transferred to a school in Essex in reception and was given a Brailler. When he first started school, he didn't have any language and there was nobody in the school that knew how to use the Brailler. The second case study, we'll call her E. She had a brain tumour when she was young and prior to moving to Essex went to a special school in another local authority which was especially for visually impaired children. When the family moved, she started attending an Essex school. Again, she has no vision and some physical difficulties, and again the school have a Perkins but weren't initially sure on how to use it. The third case study, we'll call him J, began in a mainstream school and started learning Braille in years 3 to 6. He then transferred to a moderate learning difficulty school as he has some additional learning needs. S is for systems. Use the system in school which works well with the child with vision impairment. This school uses a system of 4 sequential tasks in a workstation, so I've worked with the class teacher to suggest Braille literacy and maths activities to use in the 4 task boxes. The picture shows the 4 literacy tasks. The child has a strip with 4 objects, in this case a ball, a cylinder, a cube and a Duplo brick, and they take these off one by one and matches it to the box to do that task with the corresponding shape. The teacher or the LSA will sit opposite and use a specific script used to the little boy's language needs. I observe the activity rather than taking over, as the young person doesn't know me very well and I don't know the script. The child takes the 3D shapes off in turn, matches them to the box and completes the activity within. This is a close-up of the 4 tasks in the literacy workstation. The first box has a Braille tracking activity. The second one has a finger strength activity, which in this case is hole punching the side of a piece of card. The third box has a Braille story and some objects to go with the story. And the fourth one is the Perkins Brailler for the young person to write. This is his favourite task and he can write G for his name. If it was the first task, he wouldn't proceed to the others, so it's kept till the end. P is for Personalised Learning. It's best to go with the strengths and likes of the VIP. This is my case study E. She likes music on her CD, so I've made a card with some of the song titles on them. Just the initial letter is brailled on the top left-hand corner for her to feel, and the aim is for her to make a choice from 2 and get the song that she wanted. The picture on the right shows her locating the Braille letter with her forefinger. The other little boy, G, likes numbers and maths, so I've decided to make maths Braille activities, including a number line for him. The third case study, Jay, likes pirates, and I've sourced books at his reading level and brailled on his level of Braille. He also likes having a pen pal or a dot friend who attends another school and they exchange Braille letters. This is a personalised story for E around the things that she likes to do. The first one is a doll with big hair like she has. The second picture is a bag of Wotsits because that's her favourite snack and you can still smell Wotsits in there. The third picture is a CD because she likes music, and the fourth picture is her dog. It's very easy to make a personalised story about any person, child or adult. My personalised story involves rum and pirates. This is a sample of some maths workstation activities. Again, 4 boxes because that's the scheme and the system that the school works with. But instead of having 4 objects, we've actually got the little boy onto using Braille numbers. So he has the 4 Braille numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, on Velcro. He takes them off in turn and then does the corresponding activity in the basket. Some such activities would be matching the numbers, counting lids, matching shapes and sorting clothes. E is for early Braille. There are commercially produced products such as Feeling Ready to Read and Fantastic Fingers, but they may not be of interest to a young person who has got complex needs and vision impairment. So we can do some personalised tracking sheets such as Mind the Gap and Simulate Trains. They may need to be made sturdier due to the nature of the young person. So instead of using standard Braille paper, it may be an idea to use Braille on plastic paper, which is more resilient to water and splashes. E is also for everywhere. Put Braille everywhere that young person will touch. On their tray, on their water bottle, on their drawer, on their lunchbox, on their coat peg, on the table or tray that they work at. Show the Braille labeller to anyone who isn't maybe familiar with Braille, and then they can make these resources for themselves. Anywhere that the sighted children see words and numbers, blind children also need exposure to these. Here are some examples of early and pre-Braille. The picture on the left shows finger strengthening activities, which involves putting clothes pegs on and off a plastic box, and the picture on the right shows some of the samples from the range of products that we put together for Fantastic Fingers. C is for consistency and coaching or training. The LSA or the teacher is familiar with the student and can deliver a consistent approach using a set script. If it was me that was going in to deliver the teaching, the child doesn't know me and I don't know which works best. It's useful if we can find an LSA who's interested in tactile learning and then get them to learn the basic Braille alphabet. It's also useful if that LSA can transition with the young person, especially if the Braille learning takes off. So as they move through the school, at least one person that goes with them is familiar with the Braille alphabet. There is free online training from an Australian website called UEB Online. This can be on display where the young person works, and it can be a reference for anybody who works with that child, and it gives the Braille alphabet and which dots and which finger positions need to be used to do it. This picture shows one of the LSAs working on her Braille alphabet to practice the letter G with the little boy who has the letter of the same name at the beginning of his name. She's got the UEB Online finger chart beside her, so she doesn't have to commit it to memory, and she can have that as reference with her at all times when she's making resources or working with the little boy. I is for inventive. We cannot necessarily use the commercially produced books such as Abby or Hands-On because the language might not be real enough for some of these learners. So we have to use our imagination and invent things that are particular to the children. We have to use the staff knowledge of the child and create an individual learning programme for these children. This also links in with personalised learning. It might be we use another reading scheme such as Read, Write, Ink or Toe by Toe. One of my young people is reluctant to read unless it's pirate related, so again I have taken great steps to find lots of books at his reading level that involve pirates of all sorts. Hence Redbeard the pirate. I is for impact. Boys often prefer maths. G certainly is more interested in maths Braille than with the letters, and he is now able to match numbers from 1 to 4 in Braille. A is for access, achievement and advice. Just because a child is blind and may not use language efficiently, this is no reason to deny access to literacy. Children need to be able to organise themselves, for example, labelling their CDs or their socks and pants drawer. They have a real sense of achievement when they've finished doing something, when they've finished a book, when they've finished an activity. And my role is not to necessarily teach these children, but to advise the adults who know these children so much better and do the daily support to differentiate the means of learning, i.e. give them the specialist support to do tactile and auditory learning. This photograph shows how you can make accessible choices for snack. The young person can make an informed choice for snack and develop their literacy. Again, we just use the initial letter of the fruit vegetable on the card. It's in the top left-hand picture, along with the picture and the words, so that it can be used with peers and adults in the class and could be a joint task if appropriate. I made the resources in this case in consultation with the class teacher about which items are actually available for snack choices. As we said, A is for achievement, and when all tasks have been completed, this young person can choose his favourite toy. In this case, he's picked a CD which plays in French. L is for learners moving on and life skills. When learners move on through the school, it will hopefully be with an adult who is familiar with their learning style. In other words, tactile, Braille, and using audio to supplement that, and has had previous input from me or from the teacher, or has gone on external training such as the Partners in Learning course, which is run by the RNIB, Royal National Institute for Blind People. So L is also for life skills. Parents will be very grateful if blind young people can sort their own hats, socks and pants. This is a list of useful resources and websites which will give you further information on the things talked about in this presentation. This is the Fantastic Fingers programme, which is a DVD with resource ideas on, which you then can put together in a pack. This is the order form for the Fantastic Fingers, which is available from Birmingham City Council. Further training is available for all practitioners who support children and young people with a vision impairment from a variety of places. The RNIB and the View website have all the details. For further information about Braille in Essex, please visit the Essex Local Offer website.